He's snoring. Give me a try.
Uh, I'm gonna say just the success that we had, um, having people show up every week. I mean, we had probably um 10 to 15 that showed up every single race, all year long, and that was definitely, I feel like, the highlight to our season.
Right. So you know, is there a moment in this season that you could call a highlight as far as like winning a race? I know you won the race at Southern National. I believe that was your only win this season. Kind of talk me about with that win at Southern National.
Yeah, the win at Southern National was pretty big. Um, Caught Blake on a his A game. I feel like Blake dominated all season long, and I think Blake was just a little bit off that night, and I was able to um, capitalize on that. And Jordan really was a lot better than all of us. He just burnt the right front up just a little too early, and was able to have a late race caution, and pull us all back together. And once that did, that put me in position to take a chance to win the race. And I wasn't gonna jack Jordan up to win it or anything like that. So took my time and worked on him, and he finally bobbled hard enough, and we was able to get by him and win. And um, we was out of the championship points at the time. We still didn't. We was never gonna catch back up. That was the next to last race. So it did close the gap, fix some of the bleeding that it had gotten drug out to be, but it was definitely a big. It was good to finally win at least one of the races that we put together, and put all this work in to make it happen.
Right. Well, my next question for you is going to be: what would have to be your biggest highlight for real life racing?
Um, this year we was able to win the Kenny Meadows Memorial at A Speedway. Um, I raced with his son Calvin Meadows, and when I first started back in 2009 or 10 was the year that I raced against Calvin at Ace, and we was pretty good buds, and Kenneth was a really 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 good guy, and we he owned a automotive parts store or salvage lot up in Virginia, and we own an automotive repair shop, so we bought parts from him and stayed in touch throughout all the years. They actually got out of racing, and once he passed away, they started having the Kenny Meadows Memorial Race, and it was the second year running it, and we was able to win it. And to this date, that was the biggest pay-in race that we've ever won. So it was a pretty special moment.
Right. Well, last question for you. As far as, real life racing and Pitwall podcast, stock car tour, what are you looking for going into next season and so forth?
I'm looking to continue to grow this thing first and foremost. It's definitely on the rise. I see big things. I think about it every day. It bounces in and out from real life stuff to iRacing stuff, and the Tour in 5. We're gonna, instead of doing Tour in 12 like the Cars Tour does, we're gonna do Tour in 5. We're gonna have the Virginia Triple Crown. We're gonna have the big. I think it's 15 races, right?
I believe so.
I think it's 15 races total. So there'll be a point system for all 15 races. And then there'll be 3 Virginia Triple Crown races that will keep points for those 3 races separate from the main points. And then we're also going to have a Tour in 5. And in that Tour in 5 category is going to be guys that is loyal and sticks with us and shows up each and every week and has hands and stuff into making this thing happen, and just don't have the speed to run for the lead, per se. I'm not saying that it's not possible that they can win, because it is, but just the chance of them winning is less than some of the other guys. So we're going to have a Tour in 5, and every single race throughout the year, the Tour in 5 is going to compete amongst them 5 people, and there's going to be a championship for the Tour in 5 as well. So we're going to run one league with 3 different champions for 3 different things, all in one league for 15 races. So it's going to be big. It's going to be a lot to keep up with. There's going to be a lot of winning, and that's what we want to do. We want to keep everybody happy and enjoying it, because nobody's got to sit down on a computer on a Sunday night and say, hey, I'm going to go win a championship. They ain't got to do it. So we want it to be good for TV. We want it to be good for the broadcast. We want it to be good and fun for everybody. So if everybody's having fun, that's what it all matters. That's what it's all about. So we just got to keep everybody interested and keep them coming every Sunday.
All righty. Well, we're going to be back with Ross here in a little while, but talking with the Ross Dalton, driver of the number 50 late model stock in the Pitwall podcast late model stock tour. So we appreciate his time there. Next on, we're going to move to Jordan Blair. Jordan Blair, driver of the number 19 Romeo Guest AC Custom Graphics Elevated TV sponsored sets of racing development number 19. And man, he has had a season of ups and downs. Was leading at Martinsville for the first half of the race, and then just kind of went downhill from there. So Jordan, appreciate you coming in and taking time to do this with me. And my first question for you is, what was one of your biggest highlights this season for Pitwall?
It's hard to pick one single moment out of the whole deal. I would say toward the end of the season there, I think we really turned our stuff around and was able to run up front and kind of show that we can compete for wins. Led a bunch at Southern National. Should have won it. Driver error there, screwed up, hit the apron and let Ross up under me. And Martinsville kind of screwed up on putting a little bit too much gas in the car there and got a little free on entry, which made it tight in the center, which allowed Chase to get to me and then get up under me there. So really just showing that we can do it. We just got to catch the right brakes.
Right. And, man, you had a really good race at Southern National. You had a really good race at Martinsville, led, the first 100, 115 laps. Had a really good race at Southern National. And I talked to a lot of the guys, Jordan, and they said that, if that caution, that late race caution with at lap 97 or 98, whatever it was, wouldn't have come out, they really think you'd have been in contention to win that race.
Well, that really was just the strategy that I played there. I was like, I'd gotten beat so many times trying to, do this whole saving thing and really try to save a lot of tire. And on iRacing, it doesn't quite work like it does in real life. You don't have to ride quite as slow, to really save your tires. So I kind of just made a dang deal with myself there and decided that I was going to just go really hard and just see what it had, and hopefully that I could get out far enough and there wouldn't be no cautions and I could come away with it.
Right. Well, my second question for you, and I know this is probably a sore subject question for you, but how are you looking to get a win next season, and what are you doing differently?
Well, I mean, in the last 2 weeks, y'all saw it at Martinsville, y'all saw it at Kinley, and probably even some other places throughout the season. I just really got a lot more aggressive. I've gotten bit way too many times, just kind of trying to be nice, and I feel like I was a lot of the give, and I never got to take anything. Everything always got taken from me, and it put me back in spots I didn't need to be at, and I was better, but I just never could show it. So I think we're just going to continue on with this, trying to be really aggressive, and maybe the guys will maybe they'll have some slip ups and we'll be able to capitalize on it and get us one finally.
Next question, and this will be my final question. It's kind of the same question I asked Ross. What are you looking for going into next season and so forth?
Well, you kind of answered it with the last question. We definitely want to win one of these things. I've showed that I'm able to be up there, and I just want to really close one off. And it would have been really cool to have done at Martinsville. And but I really just want to. Other than that, I really just want to see the series grow. I mean, we've got good guys that are racing with us, and I know that they can have good races, and we can get this thing to a much bigger level than it's at. I think what Ross has got going on, as well as Blake, Speedy, and me, I think we've all got a good thing going here, and I think we just need to continue to build off of it and go from there. Well,
I appreciate your time. We'll be back with you momentarily here at the round table. But that's kind of all I got for you tonight. So we're going to move on to Blake. We don't actually have a picture of Blake, so kind of just going to leave Jordan's car up there and let him talk. Blake, appreciate you coming on and taking time out of your day. I know you just got out of the hospital, I believe today, if I'm right. Well, I appreciate you coming in here and hanging out and doing the podcast with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, I'm going to ask you kind of the same question I asked Ross and Jordan. What was one of your biggest highlights this season for Pitwall?
Probably just kind of like Ross says, we're kind of piggybacking off him, kind of just how far the league has grown since we started. I mean, we sat down probably at the beginning of the season, probably a couple of weeks before, and we sat down and was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. We tried it, to get everybody in here the first 2 weeks, and it didn't quite work out. But then we all sat down and put our heads together and came to a solution about, hey, we just need to get these certain number of guys to run that we know we can count on. And if they do, say, mess up or spin somebody out, they'll be accountable for it and won't get mad and, want to argue during the middle of the race. And probably the other most successes, probably just winning races. It's a tough group of guys out here that we race against every Sunday night, and just being fortunate enough to win as many as I did, just knowing the talent level that these guys have.
Yeah, definitely a lot of talent in the league, and we've seen it with you. We've seen it with Cody Pace. We've seen it with Jordan and, Ross and, a couple other new guys that we got in there. We've seen with Chase L. Pierce winning Martinsville. Unfortunately, you weren't there to race that race with you being in the hospital. So this question is going to kind of reluctant into my next question. How did you manage to get 6 wins in a row this season, and do you think you can do it again next season?
Probably just, man, I know some of these guys haven't raced big long races with no tires. I was fortunate enough to get on here and run a league called In the Zone Racing, where it's kind of a fixed setup league and you don't get any tires. So I believe I had a little bit of advantage of knowing, how far or when to push, how long to save. But man, 6 wins next year. I don't know, man. We're bringing in some pretty fast guys, and these guys already got a 1 season under their belt, so they kind of got it figured out, man. Towards the end of the season, um, it was really hard to get around some of these guys because they knew, just you could see it at Southern National. I kind of went too hard to catch Jordan because I didn't think we were going to have a caution, and Ross and Marquette kind of kept saving, waiting on a caution, and we got one, and it kind of showed that right there I made a mistake and I went too early, and them guys have learned, hey, if you can hold off and get a late race caution, you've been saving like you have. It pays off there at the end. So getting 6 wins next season, I would love to get 6 wins next season because that'll put you in a good place as far as the point standings and probably winning the championship. But I'm not real sure, man. That's gonna be tough. Like I said, we're planning on bringing in some more competition. Some faster guys that have done this before and know that, and so I don't know, man. I would say it's up in the air, 50% chance. Would I like to? Yes, but am I going to? I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm a pretty humble guy, and like I said, I believe that each and every one of these guys, when we go out there and race, has a chance to win.
Right. Definitely each and every one of these guys. And, I mean, and like I said all the time on the broadcast when I do them, all it takes is one slip up. All it takes is one mistake. And, we see, me and you were talking about it at Martinsville. We see a lot of these guys in the back, wrecking because, they're not patient. They're trying to, take a 200 lap race and, be at the lead by lap 100. And then, everybody in the back is going to get fresh tires that's been saving. And then, they're going to go blister it out there. And I feel with these late model stocks, patience is key anywhere you go.
Yeah, that is true. Like I said, it kind of different perspective when I was up there in the booth with you this past week in Martinsville. Yeah, a lot of people push too hard or not patient enough to make a pass, and you'll see that. That's normally when cautions get brought out. You see we watched the guys up front. They made passes, but they were real patient and real methodical what they when they were going to make the pass and how they were going to do it. But like I said, the biggest thing I know it's probably going to your next question, man. It's just I like seeing these guys that don't do it a lot come in here and then at the end of the season how much better and how much they've grown just from racing with us and racing in this league, and that's a big thing. Just growing everybody, letting everybody learn and picking up speed and being better than they were at the start of the season.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and like you were right, that goes into my next question of, what are you looking for going into the next season and so forth. But, I definitely feel, even myself, I want to see these guys, the league itself grow. I want to see, kind of, I want to see the people in the back, being more patient, trying to, and like I said, we always say, I think patience is key, and sometimes at some tracks, like, Southern National, with it being so small, yes, it's a track you've got to be really patient at, but you can't be too patient because it is so small, and I feel like that's kind of where you messed up on your strategy was at Southern National with, being too patient and, not pushing hard enough.
Yeah, that's right. Like I said, I knew Jordan got out to a 2-second lead. I felt like right then if it was going to go, it was getting late. I didn't think we were going to have another caution. Like I said, we were pretty spread out that I could tell. And Jordan was running, perfect lap times. He was consistently running the same lap. I knew that I saved probably a little bit more than he saved because I heard his strategy. He said he was just going to go. And then I knew what lap times I was running, like if I was going to catch him, if it stayed green, I was going to catch him right there at the end, if anything, if I was even going to catch him. And I knew I had to have a little bit left to pass him because, like I said, he was running consistent. But unfortunately, we got a caution there at the end. And like I said, you could really tell that Ross and Marquette did a good job of saving their stuff because they were hands down the fastest two drivers. And like I said, it didn't take but one slip up, and Ross capitalized and got up under Jordan. And then after that, it was I don't think anybody was going to catch him after that once he got clean air, and he just set sail and got a win, which was much deserved. And I'm happy for him that he did get a win there. That was pretty awesome.
Well, one more question for you, and kind of let everybody know watching. We know you've been in the hospital. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm all right, man. I got something called a sensory nerve neuropathy thing. It's just where kind of my nerves have somehow my body's attacking the inside of my body. I would say it's almost like an autoimmune disease. We're doing all right. Like you said, they thought I was well enough to go home today and get released. I am still being treated as an outpatient, so it's just like me being in the hospital, but actually I'm getting treated. I can go home and stay. Have a doctor's appointment first thing at 9 in the morning to with a nerve and muscle doctor to see if they can kind of narrow it down because they still have really no idea how this just came out of the blue and happened. But we're doing good, man. God has got me. He's gonna protect me and keep me going. I can't thank Ross and everybody for the support, especially the guys over at Zine Setup Shop. Man, they've been right there by my side and supporting me through this whole thing. And the big thing is Ross. He headed that up and made that happen. And I haven't known Ross for a long time, but or Jordan or Speedy. But man, I feel like I've known these guys forever, and they're real good friends of mine. I'd do anything in the world for them. Like you said, and I'm just happy that this league right here, what we got is it's going to be big, man. It might take a little bit. There's going to be some bumps in the road, but we're really going to grow this thing. And for too long, you can talk things into existence, and I believe that. I think this thing's going to be really big, and it's going to be one of the top short track late model leagues here before too long.
Alrighty, well, Blake, we'll kind of be back with you as well with the roundtable later on. Appreciate you coming and answering a few questions and being here on the podcast with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Alrighty, well, that's been a word with the driver, the number 22, the Pitwall Podcast Season 1 champion, Blake Thronberg, driving the 22 Teams Setup Shop machine and hoping to look to get a Season 2 championship. Alrighty, we're going to switch over now to the driver of the Howe Racing Products Elevated Television AC Custom Graphics number 16, the man that at Martinsville, me and Blake decided he was going to get the most wreck avoidance award for as many wrecks as that man drove through and didn't wreck himself. And he's had another one of them drivers that has had it up and down, down and up, and battled from started out with being new to iRacing. Speedy, I think you've only been on iRacing what, 3 months, 4 months?
Yeah, I think we're going on about 4 months now.
Yeah, and when Speedy first started, he was one of them guys. He couldn't even make a lap. He was spinning out every time you turn around, and now he's running 125 lap races on with no tires and finishing the whole races. And I used to tell Speedy when he first started, hey man, at least finish the race. Don't drop out. And now he's big time in it, actually running official races. So, but Speedy, kind of first question for you: what was one of your biggest highlights this season for Pitwall?
I'm pretty sure we just answered that, man. I was going from barely making 10 laps without wrecking to actually finishing on lead laps. And I've always said you got to be there at the end if you're going to make something happen. So that was one of the biggest accomplishments I think I've had in this league. And big shout out to Ross and Blake and Jordan for being patient with me and giving me the tips and pointers that I needed to get that far. But still got a long way to go, but hopefully one day we'll be up there with Blake and Jordan and Ross. So.
Making something happen, right?
That's right.
All righty. Well, next question. How are you looking to get better finishes this next season? I know you've had a lot of rough finishes, Martinsville. man, I think if there was a wreck on the racetrack, you were in it. Southern National, I know you and somebody else got into it a little bit there. A couple other races, you got into it with other people. I know we seen an IRP. That was probably one of your worst races. Kind of walk me through, how you feel like you can get better finishes next season going for Pitwall.
Yeah, it's just gonna have a lot of time testing and a lot of time behind the steering wheel and yeah, I was like I said, just taking pointers from Ross and Blake. They've been doing this a while and they're one of the top that I've witnessed out there. I mean, they're out there winning big official races and yeah, I think just a lot of time behind the steering wheel, getting some seat time, and we'll eventually get there.
Right, definitely. Looking, I'm actually kind of surprised. I seen at Martinsville you were up to 8th. Southern National, I think you were up in the top 5 at one point. It's been a really the beginning of the season was really rough for you, and then now the end of the season is kind of like the battle is almost complete. It's almost done, and do you feel like the official races that you've been doing? Do you feel like they've kind of helped you get better as a driver, or do you feel like just kind of the seat time?
Yeah, well, they've most definitely helped me. I mean, racing around other people that I don't even know has helped tremendously. And like starting out in the league, I was always the new guy, I guess you'd say. So I was always trying to stay out of the way and not cause any cautions. And now I've got a little more confidence where I can actually get up there and race door to door with somebody and not give up, as easy. But yeah, it's most definitely helped with the official races. Learning a lot of those.
Right. Well, final question. I'm gonna, kind of the relux on what I've asked the rest of the guys. What are you looking forward going into next season and so forth?
Well, I don't want to set my standards too high, but I would most definitely like to be in the top 5 with a points deal. I think consistent finishes, I could probably get there. And to see this league grow into what it already has become is just awesome as it is. And I think it's only going to get better from here. Like Ross said, we got guys that's coming in that's really, really good and give old Blake a run for his money some.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's definitely finishing top 5s and top 10s, is going to be where I need to be next year.
I got you. Well, like I told the rest of the guys, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you and hanging out with us. But we're gonna move. That's the driver, the number 16, Speedy Bird. We're gonna move on to the round table talk. If you don't know what round table talk is, it's pretty much Ross and Blake and Jordan and Speedy all get together. Well, I've got a couple questions I'm gonna ask, and then we're gonna kind of see if there's anything they want to talk about from the season or so forth from this week's past race, and go from there. So we're gonna switch over real. Add that. There we go. So we've got all 4 of the drivers, and Ross, Blake, Speedy, Jordan. Kind of want to get each and every one of y'all's opinion. Y'all can talk about these questions as one whole person, and kind of discuss y'all's thoughts. So first question for you guys is: do you guys think y'all can stop Blake's win streak next season?
Well, that's a Ross question right there.
Again, going back to the competition level that's coming in, it's hard to when Blake gets out front, it's hard to kill his momentum. And Clean Air, I know it's a sim and it's a video game to some people and so on and so forth, but Clean Air really does matter. And so when he gets out front and he has nobody pressuring him, it goes back to I learned a lot this season. I learned that you can get out front, back your pace up, maintain track position, and hold your spot without killing your tires. Yes, you're going to use them faster doing that than you would if you fell to last and just put it around, but track position over tire conservation sometimes wins races versus tire conservation over track position. So learning that and pressuring him, there was multiple times where I would be behind him and I would try to pass him because he was saving and he could pick it up and he could burn my tires off more than he was burning his tires off. So basically, with Jordan growing as much as he did throughout the year, he's going to be somebody that's going to be there with me. Cody Pace was really good, being there to do the same thing. And there's going to be a handful more that's coming in with just a little more up to speed. That's possibly going to help us give Blake a better run for his money. I definitely feel like I growed longer into the season there, learning how to race these longer races. But outside of that, yes, I mean, do I think Blake's going to be hard to outrun? Absolutely, he is, no matter what he gets in, no matter where we go. But do I see him winning 7, 8 races in a row, however many it was? Is the possibility still there? Yes. Do I think that it's going to happen again with the competition level that we're going to have? I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but I don't want to. I don't want to see him do that because I want to win the points myself. So, I think that we can. I think with the amount of people that we're going to have with the knowledge and the experience that they have in these cars, I think we'll be able to slow him down just a little bit.
And to add, Rooster, we kind of sat down and built this schedule. Me and Ross really kind of headed up the whole deal. And we decided that we were going to go to some places that you really don't see late model stock cars at. New Hampshire, that's a mile track. Milwaukee Mile, obviously a mile track. Phoenix, just like a little over a mile. So, I mean, you're going to have a whole lot of different style of a race going on at certain tracks. And, I mean, they pay points for the championship. So that right there, that might be throw a curveball toward Blake still. I'm not saying that he can't win there, but that might bring somebody along that ain't even me, Ross, Speedy, or Blake, that can come up and show us, how to get around those bigger tracks, even with an underpowered race car.
And not only did we do that to try to get Blake out of his comfort zone, but we did that for everybody to get out of their comfort zone because, I mean, even me and Jordan, when we go there, is going to be out of our comfort zone because it's not for, say, a short track. And when we go there, what we do at Hickory, USA, these short tracks that we go to, isn't going to, for, say, work the same way. So if we have to learn new things, we might be able to take it back to one of our bigger short tracks or even to a smaller short track, we don't know, and find something that works off of a super speedway for a late model stock that works at a bigger track or a smaller track or whatever. You never know what you might learn. So not only are it sounds like we're trying to beat Blake up, but we're not really trying to beat Blake up. We're just trying to get everybody out of their comfort zone to create better racing because it's going to equalize everybody. You know what I mean?
Right, definitely. Yeah. And I feel like with the level of competition, that's a big thing, because, last season, and Blake, has only been on the sim since December. It's not like he's been on here, 3 or 4 years. So, I think bringing in the level of competition, plus having drivers that are already, within arm's reach of him, I think that's going to help out a lot. I think that's going to be a big difference as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And like I said, I think that's going to throw a major curveball toward everybody because you don't see any of the leagues go to these tracks. I think that's going to be major for.
I mean, Speedy might even have a chance to win a race.
I think Phoenix.
Hey.
I've been looking at the schedule, and I think the most exciting track I'm ready to go to is Phoenix. I know it's really late in the schedule, but Phoenix, man, is a track. With ARCA cars, NASCAR Cup cars, you can run 2 and 3 wide. Whereas with these late models, you're probably going to be able to run 4 and 5 wide down the front stretches. So I think that's going to be kind of one of my most tracks I'm excited for, and to see who wins that one.
You're definitely going to see 5 wide. I'm going to make that happen. I'm going all the way there.
It's gonna be big down through the dog leg on the start finish line there. Well, the start finish line on the other side now, but down
And-
the back stretch there in the dog leg, it's gonna get big.
Right. And I'm not going to spoil the schedule right now, but before the podcast ends tonight, I'll kind of give a rundown of the schedule and we'll kind of talk about each track. But my next question is, and each of y'all kind of answer this individually, how many wins do you think you will get next season?
None.
We gotta work on Speedy's confidence level. Everybody else
Right.
is
Yeah.
Well,
but I
thank you.
think everybody would be safe saying at least one or two.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say 2.
Yeah,
I think that I can win 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I think
7?
2 would be no. I think winning one is good enough, but if there's more to come, then yeah, I mean, like you said, there's going to be some guys in there that is, I mean, like you said, that we're bringing in, that these guys are been on the sim for years and they know how to run these cars way better than I do. Like I said, I feel like I got lucky a lot last year, just being at the right place at the right time. But yeah, I would say each of us, we could win 1 or 2. But like Ross said earlier, man, it's all about having fun and getting a group of guys together to race. And if we need to door bang a little bit. But at the end of the day, we're all competitive, so we're all gonna be. It can get hostile at sometimes, but when we're done, it's all fun and games. We can shake hands and go on to next Sunday.
Right. Well, before I ask my last question, I personally want to throw this question in there, and I want Ross and Blake and Jordan and Speedy to kind of discuss this as one and give each of y'all's opinion on this. So we had an incident at Martinsville where Chase Pierce and Jordan Blair got into it after the halfway break, and I've seen a lot of controversy on Facebook and people talking about it. But I want to get y'all's opinion. I want to get what y'all think. And if you haven't seen the post on Facebook, Cliff Mullins kind of saying that Jordan was trying to door bang him, and then R.J. Williams was saying that kind of like he got scared. That's why he let Chase pass him. So I kind of want to get y'all's thoughts and opinions on the whole situation.
Where's this at? Whose Facebook is this on? Let me. I've been out of the loop. Like I said, I've been laid up in the hospital bed. Send me to the page I need to look at this at, so I know what I'm talking about.
I'll send you a screenshot of it in the group chat.
Yeah. Okay.
If you don't mind spending, I think if they're gonna talk about it, they should have been there. That's my opinion.
No, I definitely think so.
So I'll give my opinion of the situation, and I was just, I was a part of it. So after the halfway break, I told you this during my part of the interview. I put in a little bit too much fuel, which got it really, really tail happy on entry under braking, and I cranked a ton of rear brake to it, and just to try to maintain, keep it turning all night. And when I did, it almost got it too free on entry, and I didn't have a button mapped on my steering wheel to dial it back the other way. So it was getting me free on entry and tight in the center, which allowed Chase to get to me. And he got to me, granted. Like I said, me and Chase raced good the whole time, never had no problems with him. And he looked up under me, I believe off of 4, and I didn't feel that he was really there. And just Martinsville, he drove it till he got there. I mean, he didn't do nothing wrong in my opinion, but I'm not going to just lay down and let anybody pass me. I don't care who it is. It could be Ross, Speedy, Blake, you, my mama, anybody. I'm just, I'm just not going to. I just think that, it was good hard racing at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I definitely, I don't know how Ross feels about it, but I definitely feel that, it was really good hard racing. And
I look back at it right here just a second ago, and I mean, I didn't see. I race real life late models. I mean, if I'm getting passed for the lead, I'm gonna do everything I can to go from playing offense to defense and try to protect my position and getting late in the race there for Jordan. And he knows that clean air is so big, especially at a place like Martinsville, long straightaways like it has, and was just a big situation there that he didn't want to lose that track position, and Chase would have done the same thing if it was in his shoes. And I see that, that's just hard racing. I mean, it's just the way life goes. That's the way racing is. I know that if it was me in real life or on the sim, I would have pinched him as hard as I possibly could and prayed that he hit the apron and lost forward drive, and I cleared him back, and then he had to regroup and gather again. I don't care who it was. I mean, I'm with Jordan there. I mean, it could have been any of us, or even, like he said, my mama. I don't really care who it was. If it comes to winning a race, I'm going to do all I can to win it.
Right. Well, Blake, you've seen it.
Yeah.
Let's see your opinion.
Yeah, man, I'm watching the video right here. I'm not because Jordan's my buddy or anything, but I've watched it 3 or 4 times, and my man didn't give Jordan much of a break right there. He kind of sent it on in there when he got right there to turn 1, which is nothing wrong with that. Like you said, it's good hard racing, but I'm with Jordan. Man, I'd have doored him down the backstretch. I'd have killed his momentum. I'd have did a little bit more because, like you said, Jordan, that's for the lead right there. The way, I mean, I'm not saying he drove Jordan dirty by any means, because that's what you got to do to pass here. But as you could tell, my man was sideways when he hit Jordan going into turns 1 and 2. So for all the people out there that said Jordan got scared, all I can say is strap your boots up and get in the car and come race with us. I don't see nothing wrong with either one of them did, but to knock on my man Jordan and say that he did something dirty, like I said, RJ, if you're listening or going to listen, or whoever, Cliff, whoever wants to run, come on, buddy. We can we'll run like this. We can definitely go that route if you wanted to. If I was Jordan, I'd have probably gave him a little tap going into 3 and 4 if I could have got to him, let him know, hey bud, that wasn't okay. This is for a race win. This is the last race, and let's go. So that kind of got me a little fired up there that people are hating on something that's just a racing move, and nobody did anything wrong. But let's see who's comment on this. Adam Baker, Cliff Mullins, RJ Williams. We race on Sundays every night. Y'all are more than welcome to come, and we'll go from there.
Right, and I feel the same way. I don't feel like anybody done anything wrong, and my concept is and this is kind of why I made the podcast, because I want everybody to be able to express their opinions. I want everybody to be able to express their thoughts. And my thing is, Cliff Mullins was in the race. He was a 37 driver. To start with, before he has any room to talk about anything, I mean, he and Ross, you and Blake have went back and seen it. He cleaned Enoch out for no reason down the backstretch after he had already spun out and the caution had been thrown.
That race, unfortunately, for it to be our championship night, and we took the most time to put that race together and spend the time on the front stretch to do driver intros and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it transpired to be a cluster of bad racing just all around. It brought the bad out in a lot of people. The race for the lead there was very minimal compared to, the things that the 4 car, the 37 car, the 05. There was multiple cars that was issues throughout the race. And, I mean, granted, we had to fight our way through it and pick them out one at a time and get them out of the session to get it to where it was clean enough to race. And unfortunately, that's a problem that you're going to have whenever you bring people in that don't know how to race amongst each other. And that's a thing that we built through our 10 to 15 guys that we had show up weekly, was that, if we rolled up behind Speedy, we knew that, he's going to do all he can to maintain his speed. But if you're lots and lots faster than he is, then he's going to give you the space to go on by. And in that race, people didn't know that about Speedy, and if they rolled in there and they seen that Speedy was just a little slower through the corner, they thought that, hey, if I hit him right here, it'll give me a capitalize and I can make a move, and so on and so forth. And not singling Speedy out, but like, it was multiple people in that race that just wasn't up to speed, and there was people trapped in the back from earlier wrecks, and they was trying to pry their way back through the field, and it just created a bad race. And
It goes back to the patience thing. Like, I feel like nobody had much patience for that race.
the patience,
Good.
the patience level goes back to what me, Blake, and Speedy, and all of us, and Jordan has all said. You know, some of these guys don't realize that if the best they can finish fourth that night, they're not okay with that. They want to dig deep and
drive through somebody to get to first.
Right. They're gonna, if they feel like if they're the fourth best car on the racetrack, if they move the guy for third and cause a wreck, they're gonna finish third. And we just got to get to the point to where we've got guys that knows that, hey, if I finish in the top 5 right here, this is big. So
well, I've always thought too, you know.
Well, at the end of the day, like if you are running for points, even if you're not really, the way I look at it is, and I guess this is because I work on race cars in real life and stuff like that, but the way I look at it is, you know, if you're going to have a 5th place night, it's not worth knocking the nose off of it to go have a 4th place night.
That's right.
I would much rather have a consistent 5th every week, and it will show up in the points way down the road instead of having a 4th and then a 17th and, you know, so on and so on. You know, you don't make any progress that way. And then on top of that, you're making enemies.
Well, no matter.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was like, I mean, after you run somebody over so many times, like, they're only going to take it so much. And I mean, we're all guilty of it. You know, everybody's run somebody over and not meant to, or has meant to. But at some point, you just kind of have to check yourself and just remember that it is a video game at the end of the day, and that we're just doing this for fun, and it's pretty much bragging rights.
It's a sim, not a game. But anyways,
it's a video game.
It goes back to, and I don't know how many people that's following us follows Bowman Gray, but the last 2 years, the biggest wrecking class that could cost you the most amount of money when you tear a race car up, the modifieds, which is their top class, the last 2 years, the 2 champions hasn't won a race. They've just been consistent. They've finished in the top 3 and top 5 all year long and won the championship by just being consistent.
We got to look at Chase Robertson. I mean, he won the championship and I think won, 5 races, maybe 6 out of the year. I mean, and that's kind of what I was relating to, a while ago. Everybody in here has been everybody in here, Ross, Speedy, Jordan, Blake, heck, Ross, Ross races real race cars. I've raced real race cars in my lifetime. It comes down to a point. The more consistency you are, the faster, the easier it's going to be to win a championship. Because when you get in your mindset that, hey, I've got to win every race, then you're going to do your mind goes to, hey, I've got to do anything, any means necessary to win that race. If it means I've got to take out the 5 cars in front of me because I'm starting 6 to win that race. Whereas if you sit there and win 4th this week, and the 3 guys in front of you they just had a better car than you that week, and then you come back next week, and people don't understand. There's 12, 14 races out of a season at any racetrack you go to. Then they do that for a reason. If they wanted you to win every race, they'd only have 1 race a month. That's why you have multiple races a season and multiple races a month. That way you have a chance to win races. And a lot of people just don't understand that. That's kind of the same thing, on the sim as well. We have a race every 2 weeks or every week. So, you have a chance to win a race. Sometimes it happens where the same guy keeps winning, but eventually he's going to mess up, or eventually, I hate to say it like this, but eventually something happened to Blake where Blake couldn't make it, or, and actually before that, nothing even happened to Blake. Blake just messed up on strategy at Southern National, and Ross come out with the win. All it takes is one little mistake. All it takes is one little, bad night for the guy that's been winning every week, and your night will come. You just got to be patient. You got to sit back and say, hey, I'm finishing 3rd tonight. There's nothing I can do to finish 1st. I'm not going to sit here and tear my mess up, because at the end of the day, you got to think, I tear my mess up, I've got to be the one that fixes it. Because I know Ross.
It's going to equal a bad points night.
Right.
Well, and it's like you said, I mean, anybody that thinks they're going to come in here and run with these guys, honestly, I can tell you from experience, I feel like I'm a fairly decent driver on iRacing. And when you show up to run with these guys, you better have your crap together because there are no slouches. Nobody that runs top 5 is a bad driver. Nobody.
No.
90% of our guys, and I wouldn't say 90%, I would probably say 72% of our guys have either raced Sara or, race Sara. And a lot, 90% of our guys have been on the sim longer than 7 months. Blake's been on the sim. Blake, I would probably say Speedy. Other than Speedy, Blake has been not on the sim, but since December. And Speedy's been on it for 4 months. And Speedy's been on it for 4 months and races on it literally every night. And still, it's probably, no offense when I say this, but it's still a 12th, 15th place car. Anywhere we go. I mean,
Right.
He's getting better, but it still is the concept of, if you think you can come in here, I mean, I thought because I race in real life, or I've always been around racing my life, that I could jump in here and I could compete with Ross and Blake, and they'll dust me. Like, you just can't come into anything with a mindset like that. You're just going to get fooled.
I think a big thing to go off, I know this subject's kind of got me fired up, but in racing door to door, there was quite a bit of times where Cody Pace and me and Ross ran side by side. I can just think of multiple races, and we never wrecked each other, or we doored each other, but we knew, hey, if I hit him right here, like Ross said, it'll slow his momentum down. I think that's just part of racing, and if you don't have your feelings on your shirt sleeve because some guy bumps you, because you just bumped him, I think that you'll be all right, and it'll be for a better race. Because Ross could have got real mad at me for hitting him in the RRP, and I could have got mad at him for hitting me up the track trying to slow my momentum down. And the same with Cody Pace. So
Look at
I
Five
think if you
Flags. Look at Five Flags with you.
yeah,
Blake. I mean,
yeah, I know. So I think if you're going to have your feelings on your shirt sleeve and you're going to cry about somebody bumping somebody for the race lead and then bumping you back, I think it might be a better. I'm not trying to run nobody off or be a know-it-all or sound arrogant, but I think you should find another league. But we're welcome to have anybody. But like I said, when you come here, better have your shoes laced up tight and your gloves on tight. If you wear a Hans, you better make sure that thing's strapped up, because if you're going to come in here and want to win a race and think you're not going to get bumped or ran hard, that's not the right thing. But just to go off that, like I said, I think we got a good group of guys here. We all race hard. We all want to win. For instance, people say, I could have wrecked Ross when he passed me at Southern National. Could have wrecked Dustin when he passed me. But at that point, I just realized, hey, I'm a fourth place car here. All thing I could have hoped for was another caution and try to get somebody on the high side. But that's all I got. I just wanted to throw that in there. I've been sitting here watching this replay for about 10 minutes now, just trying to figure out trying to figure out where these guys are coming from. But like I said, don't come in here and bash us or say this about one of my guys, because like I said, we're all top notch. We're gonna race people how they race us, and we're gonna be clean when we do it.
well, Blake,
Well,
even with
well,
you,
and I just want to say this: like I have literally zero hard feelings at all about the situation. I mean, to me, it was just racing, and like I
Yeah,
said,
absolutely.
I'm just gonna hold you down, and I'm not gonna just let you pass. And
I mean, look at Southern National. I got inside of you,
yeah,
and I got doored. And did it mess my car up? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it got me real loose. Who else passed me? And then Ross passed me in the next corner. What I do? I didn't go in there and run Ross up the track or wreck him so I could get back to you. It's like, hey, okay, I'll just make a mental note of that. If I get into the inside of him again, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to door him before he doors me. I'm going to beat him to the punch. And that's just how racing is. I wasn't going to tear your stuff up. I wasn't mad at you. But that's just, what I'm saying?
It
It's just
goes.
racing.
The problem.
it does. The video that we're all talking about here, it doesn't show that there's like 80 laps to go in
Yeah.
this race. Well, so it's probably a little early for me to be pinching that hard, but it
here,
also
I'll actually get the video and pop it up on the stream so y'all can physically see what we're talking about. So y'all are not like bunch of lost puppy dogs.
it doesn't show that, but it doesn't show the 20 more restarts that I did side by side with him and never doored him, never touched him, never did anything to him, trying to screw him up, And like I said, again, I'm not saying anything bad about Chase. Chase has not made any comment on the situation at all.
Right, yeah, me neither. I'm just talking about the guys who have.
So,
like I said, at that point, we're, like I said, 15 cautions into the race already. We're tired. We're annoyed. We want to race, and mistakes happen.
And looking here at the video, and Jordan, I'll actually share screen for you in Discord, so you can kind of walk everybody through it, and y'all can all see it together. This is kind of the incident we're talking about. This is the video. You hear these guys talking about video. This is the video, and I'm gonna kind of let Jordan and Blake and Ross kind of walk you through it, so y'all can kind of see it.
And like I say, like right here, I'm just really free on entry. Got me tight to the center, and I'm up off the bottom. So it's obviously going to let Chase, if he can wrap the corner better than me, get a better run to me. And same thing here. I got down just a little early. He got right there, kind of hanging just barely on my bumper, and I'm just kind of running my line. But then I notice he's going to make a charge to the inside. So I just kind of got up just enough to where he wouldn't wreck me. This right here, I mean, he was a little free getting in, and I just kind of like, man, if you want it that bad, take it. I don't want to get wrecked out a second just because I want to lead that bad. But just kind of dropped in line and was going to just try to get a run on him and get back by him, and just never could get like a long enough green flag run for anything to happen there.
Yeah, like I said, I kind of explained what I seen because I was watching the video. Like I said, I watched it multiple times. I think that was fair game on Chase. I mean, he was up under. I mean, if anybody, if we wanted to be dirty, Jordan could have blocked him down the straightaway right here, because at this point right here, he's clear. You know what I'm saying? He might be, when he jumps down there, he's going to be on his front bumper. But
he drove it into the corner and hit the curb, and he drove in there so deep.
Yeah, which is fine. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So if we really wanted to put any blame on anybody, we could say Chase really drove in there over aggressively. Yes, he didn't. It's a racing move. And like you had said earlier, Blake, Martinsville, you got to drive it in there. And even me and Jordan said, even Jordan said, to kind of pass her, you've got to drive up in there and get up under somebody. But
the cars don't have realistic power, I don't think, for a real life late model. You really can't pull out and make a pass at a place like that. With the gear selection we had, it just couldn't do it. And all that, like I said, all that goes back to is
what
to
a video right there.
To me is just guys and really going for the same.
Shoot.
That's all it boils down to me.
No, man, that's good, man. We're good on that.
We're gonna get our final thoughts here on the situation before we move on. I know Jordan said he's good. Speedy, you good?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Blake, are you good? I know it's got you fired.
Yes, sir. Nah, man, it's all good, man. This is all fun. I love doing this. This is a good time.
Right.
I'm happy to be home.
Ross?
I'm good, buddy.
Right. Okay. So that's kind of our thoughts on the situation. None of us feel Chase was in the wrong. None of us feel Jordan was in the wrong. It's just the concept of people putting their mouth where they shouldn't have put their mouth. Especially people that were in the back spinning out every 30 laps, and then you got one other person that wasn't even in the race. So that's kind of where Jordan kind of got upset. He's not upset at Chase. Nobody's upset at Chase. Everybody's more upset at the people that are putting their 2 cents in that were nowhere even near the race. So
keyboard warriors.
Right, and that's kind of what I explained to Jordan earlier on the telephone was, keyboard warriors, people putting their mouth in there that had no reason to. Because I said, if we really wanted to talk bad about people, we had plenty of reasons to talk bad about people. So,
yeah.
But
but that's beside the point. We don't want to make that one thing take away from what the league is.
This is not going to be like a bashing contest here on this podcast.
Right? No. Yeah, we're not going to do that. That's this is all for fun. We're kind of expressing our opinions on things, and kind of.
I think that anybody that has problems with each other should be in here the week after.
Definitely.
Yep.
I definitely feel that. Well, so this is the last question I have. This is kind of the last question I have for you guys before we get ready to thank our sponsors and end the show. How are y'all looking forward to the new competition coming next season?
I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be really fun. Like I said, you got to bring your A game each and every night. Hopefully we have more than just what we have 3 winners with Chase. Hopefully have more than 3 winners, and like I said, I hope it brings more competition and more fun racing for the fans and everybody to watch this, and it helps grow our league. That's the main thing we're doing while we're doing this, I believe.
Absolutely. I 100% with Blake.
I also agree, and like I said, I think that other guys coming in that may be a little better than us. I think that's going to make us better. It can't do nothing but make us better.
Absolutely. You surround yourself with better people, you get better.
Yep.
And even from a broadcaster's point of view, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Speedy, but from a broadcaster's point of view, it's going to make, me as a broadcaster with the new competition coming in, I like to see, the competition, because nobody on the broadcast wants to sit here and watch Ross win every week. Nobody sitting here watching the broadcast wants to see Blake win every week. Nobody wants to sit here and watch Jordy win every week. Hell, nobody wants to sit here and watch Speedy win every week. Like, it comes down to when you bring the good competition in, you're going to eventually start having a different winner every week. It's not going to be the same guy because, one guy might be good at Martinsville, but guess what? He goes into Southern National, Jordan might be the better contest. So, and I feel like from a broadcaster's point, because I don't want to sit here and I don't want to watch 20 cautions. Like from Martinsville, I was bored out of my mind. It was just bad. But, things happen. But, I enjoy sitting here and, watching 20 guys out there duke it out, and I'm excited, and that's kind of my thoughts on the new competition as well. Speedy, did you have anything?
No, I'm just like y'all. I'm ready to see all this new competition come in, and hopefully it make every race as competitive as Martinsville was, and have a good year.
Right. Well, that's kind of all of my questions I have for you guys. I'm going to give each and every one of you guys time enough. I got
one more thing I want to say here, Rooster, real quick.
That's fine.
I think one thing that I'm really excited for is like me and Ross, I think Ross mentioned it in his interviews, the Touring 5. I think that's going to be really cool for some of the guys that, they may not run up front every week, but it's going to give them a chance to get some, spotlight out of this here too, where they're used to running 8th to, 12th or whatever. I think that's really cool, and that's something that we're doing that's a little different.
Well, we're going to have a champion that may not ever even have a top 5 finish throughout the whole season. I mean,
so you're going to have to watch battles throughout the field.
Right. It's not going to be, you're going to be able to talk about, as a broadcaster, you're going to be able to talk about the guy that's running 7th or 8th because he's the Touring 5 champion or points leader versus talking about the guys running 1 and 2 that's battling for the points.
Right. And I think that's what I'm looking forward to.
It puts battles throughout the rest of the field in multiple different categories. Right.
Well, and I was another thing I was talking to Jordan about earlier too. Was the Touring 5. I'm excited for that because, like you said, Ross, it's gonna have we're gonna have 2 champions. We're gonna have a Touring 5 champion, but we're also gonna have a league champion for the league for the late models. But another thing kind of I'm excited for is as a broadcaster, we're gonna be giving out hard charger awards and tough break awards, and I'm going to, put up $10 and, $5 isn't a lot, but I'm going to put $5 to the hard charger and I'm going to put $5 to the tough break award winners. And, it's going to be kind of broadcaster's pick. So if, Jordan goes from 2nd to finishing 17th, he's going to be my tough break. And if Blake goes from dead last to finishing 2nd, he's going to be my hard charger. You know what I mean? Like it's something. There's a lot of new things coming, and I'm excited for it. I'm gonna actually give y'all a rundown of the schedule, real fast, and then I'm gonna open up the line of chat for you guys to discuss anything you guys want to talk about. Let the viewers out there know for next season whatever you guys want to do. So coming for next season, this is a season 2 schedule. Season opener is gonna be 125 laps at USA. It's going to be the Tommy Watts, presented by Tommy Watson Construction. That'll be on October 29th. That'll be the first race. November 5th, that'll be 100 laps for New Hampshire for the Hudson Auto Works. November 12th will be 200 laps. They're actually adding a VA Triple Crown. If you don't know what a Triple Crown is, I'll kind of let them explain that here in a few. It's going to be at Sobo. It's going to be the Pitwall podcast. They're going to be the presenting Triple Crown sponsor. November 19th is 125 laps for Myrtle Beach. It's going to be the CMFR Performance, a new sponsor we picked up this season. November 26th is going to be 150 laps. It's going to be the Oxford Plains Speedway. It's going to be the elevated TV. It's going to be kind of the Oxford Plains 150 like you see in real life. December 3rd is going to be 125 laps at Stafford Motor Speedway for the Setzer Racing Development 125. December 10th is going to be 125 laps for Southern National Motorsports Park, the Old North State Nationals. Ruth Sign sponsors there. It's kind of something Jordan wanted to do. December 17th is going to be 100 laps at Milwaukee Mile, big track, mile track. It's going to be sponsored by Sound Gear. January 17th is going to be 125 laps at New Smyrna for the J. Dalton Auto Tech. It's going to be the sponsor. Then we roll in January 14th to 200 laps for the second VA Triple Crown race at Langley, sponsored by Pitwall Podcast. January 21st will be 125 laps at Thompson for the BT Construction. If you don't know what BT Construction is, that's Blake's construction company. Then on the 28th of January, we're rolling to 125 laps at Nashville Fairgrounds, the big oval track for the Reed Fabrications Incorporated. And then you got February 4th for the Hickory Throwback Race for 125. February 11th, there'll be 75 laps, the race I'm most excited for at Phoenix. And then we end everything back on February 18th for 200 laps for the VA Triple Crown Championship at Martinsville. So that's kind of your league schedule. I'm gonna go quiet. I'm gonna go silent. I'm gonna give these four guys. I'm gonna let them open, discuss anything they want to talk about, anything that they want to bring up, and let them talk about things that are happening next season. So the chat is gonna be open now.
Like I said, Richard, we're just really excited to get season 2 kicked off. If you want to get registered to run with us, we run on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock. Got a really good schedule, 15 races, and the Triple Crown, it'll be 3, I believe they're 200 lap races each. You'll get one set of tires for those races only. There'll be a little bit of, I believe, money involved on the payout side of that for the champion. It'll be a champion. Go ahead, Ross.
That's correct. All the Virginia Triple Crown races will be money races. The Old North State National, the throwback race at Hickory, the championship for the 205, the regular championship, and the Virginia Triple Crown Championship. There'll be money involved in multiple different aspects for payout to participate.
So we're, like I said, Ross, we're really excited about that and getting that started. And other than that, I think we're all good over here, Rooster.
Yep, I'm tickled to death with the way the first podcast has went, and really look forward to getting to racing and being able to have multiple people on here with us and talk about what's going on with each race and get the winner from each race on each week, and we'll continue forward here and continue to grow this thing more and more.
Alrighty, well, before we end the show, Blake, any sponsors you want to thank?
Zeem's, Rap Racing, I think it's called Rap Designs.
Rap Traps.
Yeah, Raps. I know it's hard to say that, but you Elevated Television for putting all this on and sticking with us through the bumps in the road we had at the beginning. Ross, all his sponsors that he brought in, especially Pitwall Podcast and J. Dalton Auto Tech. I can't remember most of them. I'm a little medicated up right now, but just everybody that has a hand in this, I appreciate it all. Ross, Jordan, and Speedy, thank you guys for what you do for this league, and that's about it.
Alrighty.
Same for me.
Well, Ross, hold on. I got special sponsors for you to thank. So.
You shut your mouth. You hear me, boy?
Okay. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
You better listen to the law there.
Speedy, anybody you want to thank sponsor-wise for getting you through the season 1?
Yeah, I like to thank Elevated TV and AC Custom Graphics and Hal Racing Products. And just everybody that's got a hand in this, like Blake was saying. Everybody makes this thing go around.
What about you, Jordan?
kind of like everybody else, I'd like to thank Elevated TV with you. Everything you do for us, you really do a lot to get us out there. I'd like to thank AC Custom Graphics, Michael Steele. Man, he always keeps me looking good with my wraps and stuff. Got Romeo Guest, the jewelry exchange on the car. Sets of Racing Development. That's my boss man on the weekends in real life. But other than that, just really want to thank all the guys that come out each and every week and they race with us. And, I hope they don't feel like they don't get anything in return because they don't ever get interviewed or get a whole lot of TV time. They stick with us. We're going to do some cool things for them here. And other than that, I think that's good.
Alrighty, Ross. Kind of reason I had you wait for last is I want you to thank your sponsors are helping you get through season 1, but also kind of shout out the sponsors coming from season 1 back into season 2 and the new sponsors.
Everybody that is been a part of it. Up foremost, I gotta say a big thank you to Rooster with Elevated TV and making sure that our Discord is professional enough for people to keep up with what's going on. Then our league sponsor, Pitwall Podcast, for sticking by us and enjoying watching us race. And every time I send them a link, they're for sure watching and has input on what's going on. Hudson Auto Works, real life. Another real life sponsor. Just about all the sponsors that I've got is real life sponsors that I've talked into coming over this way. Hudson Auto Works, which the commercials on there, Ruth Signs that does my wraps in real life, and Landon Rapp with Wraps. He does my wraps for my race cars now on iRacing. Does a really good job for me and Blake, and everybody that has a hand in this thing, man. It's so many people without them sitting physically right here in front of me. It's hard to remember each and every one of them, but there's so many people that has a hand in it, and especially Blake, Speedy, and Jordan, and you for all that y'all do and the way that y'all continue to come up with ideas and growing this thing and making things happen for the growth of the whole adventure is big, and really looking forward to it. And we've got, like Rooster said, we've got multiple sponsors, and we're going to recognize each and every one of them all year long in NPM marketing with the Polo Award stuff. And there's so many. I really can't really think of all of them, but I just got to give a big thank you to everybody that's had support in us and continue to watch us grow. And thank you to all of our better halves for having enough patience with us on Sunday to get on the rig and enjoy some time with our buddies and get to race.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks to my better half on this deal. She puts up with a lot for me to run this deal.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I just got out of the hospital for 6 days, and I had to let her know that, hey, I'm going to go down here on this, not racing, wanted to race. Seen Ross just signed up for the fixed race, and it wouldn't be nothing satisfying than coming home and racing with him on the fixed race. But yeah, just my wife, especially having 4 kids, young kids, and we go eat at her in-laws every week, and we leave early just so I can come back here and get on this simulator and race with my buddies.
Right.
Yeah, gotta get it right. But no, yeah, thank you for all you guys, and it was a pleasure doing this. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, definitely, and I appreciate you guys, doing this with me. Without you guys, nothing would be possible. None of this would be possible for myself. Thank my better half. She puts up with a lot of crap for me, a lot of mess I do, and we just had a baby about a month and a week ago now. So a lot going on my end of the woods, and I appreciate you guys coming on here and doing this for me, with me, and allowing me to broadcast races. Only gonna grow, only gonna get better. But appreciate all the guys that help me out and do everything. And if you have a commercial for your sponsor and you actually sponsor a league or you want to get sponsored, make sure you hit us up at Elevated Television on Facebook, Elevated Television on YouTube. Link, leave it down in the comments and we'll get to you. If you have Discord, Elevate, get up with us on there. Pitwall Podcast, Stock Car Tour. We'll be coming big a lot. We're actually going to start doing the podcast on Spotify as well. So got a lot coming coming for the league, and can't wait to bring you guys along with us. Remember, this Sunday night, we'll have a non-winners race. If you were a non-winner, you're more than welcome to come race. And it looks like
I'll be in there throwing some doors again.
And it'll be 8:00 this Sunday night. Myself will be racing. I've actually got a producer and Ross and Blake, and are going to actually announce the race.
Let's go.
So they're going to be up in the booth, and I'm going to be downstairs racing. And I've got a producer coming in and doing stuff for me. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be enjoyable, like I said. And appreciate each and every you guys sticking around, tuning in with us on the podcast. I know it was kind of all over the place and wasn't really like formal to 100%. So, but that being said, make sure you guys drop a like on this on the podcast on the YouTube, and make sure you drop a like on the Spotify video. And can't wait to do this next Wednesday at 8:00, and hopefully we'll have some extra special guests up in here to come along with us. But for everybody over here at Elevated Television, for Fastlane Podcast, for Pitwall Podcast, Stock Car Tour, and Impient Marketing, Ruth Signs, Hudson Auto Works, for each and every one of the sponsors, we appreciate you guys tuning in and sticking around with us, and we'll see you Sunday night.